Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Just Reasoning Live, the show where we are here to amplify your voice, amplify the voice of the Caribbean community, the Black community, and talk about all things relevant to our community, whether it be news, politics, sports, music, entertainment, culture, what have you. We are here to discuss such things. I am one of your hosts, Chris C-Dub. Joining me tonight also, we have my partner Tex and Jasmine, and we have a few special guests today. As I mentioned, we talk about all sorts of things here on Just Reasoning, and we have representing the lovely Twin Islands of Trinidad and Tobago, we have Miss Karen Yates and we have Miss Pat Francis. Why they specifically are here on the program today is we're going to talk about small business. We know it's a very challenging environment out there right now. Millions of layoffs, millions of, tens of thousands of closed businesses. And they are with an organization called SCORE. So we are going to talk about SCORE, exactly what the organization is, and what they do, and how they can help small businesses. So with that said, ladies, if you can introduce yourselves, and then we'll take the conversation from there.
Okay.
Here you go.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for having us on. My name is Karen Yates, and I live in Houston now. I've been here for a while, and then I left, and now I'm back. I work for a company. My own company is called the Center for Transformational Leadership. And I have a people development, educational, and training company. So that's what I do. And so that's what I do for, to make my own money. But what I do also is I also volunteer for an organization called SCORE in Houston. That's SCORE. SCORE is it's a partner. It's a nonprofit organization that partners with the Small Business Association. It's a government-funded organization, nonprofit. And what we do is we help small businesses in whatever communities we're in to either go from idea to business, or if you currently have a business and you want to maybe change it up, you want to expand, you want to turn it into a franchise, anything you want to do in regards to your small business, they help you go from with mentoring and education. And people like myself and my colleague Patricia, we are experienced subject matter experts in whatever field that we're in, would help those people who would come to SCORE to get education and training to help them facilitate what they want to do with their business.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
That's what we do.
Okay, Ms. Francis, would you like to add to that, or?
Sure. Hi, I'm Pat Francis. I live in Houston. I'm originally from Trinidad. I have been in Houston. I've lived in Houston for the last 42 years or so. So many of the Caribbean community transitioned through, from having organizations to many different things. So my background is in training and development, organizational training and development. I am currently working on completing my master's degree in technology, and will complete that at the end of December. I mentor for SCORE personally because I myself have a small business while I'm not working it right now. But again, one of the things that I found that's successful in SCORE is helping and mentoring people into becoming successful entrepreneurs. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but how do I become successful? And that's one of the key things that we try to accomplish in SCORE by one of the first things, allowing people, helping them develop their business plan. So that's one of the first major milestones. And that's where some of the challenges come in working with entrepreneurs. Everybody has an idea, but like Karen said, how do you take an idea from theory now to execution? And we guide you and navigate you through those challenging times.
Okay. Speaking of challenging times, we are in the midst of some very challenging times. The last number I saw was probably like 45 million unemployed. About 100+ thousand businesses have closed. So, given that challenging environment, would you would you say that this is a good time to start a small business? Let's start with that question.
Karen, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say it is a good time to start a small business. You know, I grew up with my grandmother saying in Trinidad, necessity is the mother of invention, right? So if you were one of the people who got displaced, lost your job, or your company closed down, or they're kind of doing what a lot of companies, even big companies like ExxonMobil today, is doing a structured type of early retirement. So even if you're with a big company like that, which was pretty solid, you might find yourself in a position where they're asking you to leave. So you have some knowledge, you have some experience, maybe you have some funds, hopefully, and you could say, you know what, I have a passion for making pizzas. Let's just say that, and you want to either purchase a standing organization, a franchise, or a distressed one, or you want to open up your own. I think there's always an opportunity for people to go into business for themselves. But I will say this with one caveat: there's a mindset that you need to have, a mindset of an entrepreneur. And I think that's the key right there. Sometimes we say we want to go into business because, I don't want to work for anybody, I want to be my own boss. But the mindset that's taking you from an employee to an employer, where you are the employer, that has to change. And that's the only thing I would say would be a challenge for somebody. But there's always opportunity to be opening business.
So
Chris, I would add to this. Let me just add quickly to that. Also, going back to the mindset that Karen said, that is true. But this is a good time. It's always a good time to start. But I think what it is now, so many of us are being forced to think of other things, because oftentimes we rely on corporate America, whatever structure that is. But now we're being pushed against the wall to decide, hey, let me get rid of this fear and step out from that and step out into a new world and bring my idea to life. So it's always a good time to start your business. It's like Karen said, changing your mindset and stepping out from that comfort zone.
Okay, so let's go through a scenario. Let's say, someone, saying, with all this environment, I think I would like to start a daycare center or some sort of business. And they heard about SCORE and they reach out to SCORE for help with that process. Walk me through the process of what happens then.
Okay, so you come to SCORE. One of the challenges I'm finding in what we're seeing is first your mindset. But let's say they are entrepreneur and they come through and they said, I want to start a daycare, for example. So one of the very first thing, you are assigned a mentor. And that mentor you're assigned to will walk you through or navigate you through the process. Now, SCORE is not there to actually write your business plans or do the things for you. You have to the entrepreneur has to do the work themselves. So there's going to be a lot of homework that they'll have to be challenged to do, particularly if they're not familiar with doing a cash flow statement, a business plan, an income statement, a balance sheet. So you have to bring some type of knowledge to how do I start my business, particularly just going back to a daycare center. That comes with a startup cost. It comes with a wealth of understanding of how do I start a daycare business. So you have to have a basic fundamental knowledge. So the process will be, you come on board, we assign you a mentor, you are assigned a mentor, and that mentor will work with you from the beginning all the way through ribbon cutting day. And again, I said work with you. They're not there, they're there to navigate you through the process. And the first process is writing a business plan. And writing a business plan will entail your mission statement, your value, who you're doing your marketing plan, who are my customers? And that's some of the things that stall entrepreneurs. But what it does also is it helps you to open your mind and really get down to the nitty-gritty of opening a business. Then certainly sometimes what happens we start seeing is people start saying, oh wow, I have an idea, I just didn't know how to formulate it. So now we're here to help you formulate that plan to make it a reality. but you, the entrepreneur, must do the work for yourself. In terms of doing the research, we tell you, okay, let's figure out your marketing plan. Let's see who are your target market, and we start going through the list. There's a checklist that we use to get you to navigate you through the system from the beginning all the way through ribbon cutting. And that includes a marketing plan, financial, your personal state financials. So it's a wealth of information, or it's a whole component of a business plan that you're going to complete.
Okay.
So some make it and some don't.
Okay. So just to take us a little bit back to the actual steps is, so there's two ways you can find SCORE, right? If you go to the Small Business Association, which some people do, the Small Business Association is going to say to you, do you have a business in place? Have you come up with your name, registered, all of that? If you said no, then they refer you to SCORE, because SCORE will help you through that process. Once you get to, or you could find SCORE just going online, houstonscore.org, and then you would select a mentor yourself, say, I need help with an HR issue that I have with my company already, or I want to start a business and it says, who can help me with business operations? You select a mentor. If you don't do either of that, you fill out a form, you say what you're looking for, then they assign you a mentor. So these are the steps to get into SCORE. You go to our website, you go to the SBA. Some people, we have relationships with a lot of chambers of commerce in Houston, and we will tell people at the chambers of commerce if somebody is looking for information on how to start a business, or if they need any type of mentoring and education, you can send them to SCORE. So people find us that way as well. So there are several ways to get to SCORE. Once you arrive at SCORE and we figure out what you want, then we try to help you through that process.
It's all for free.
Hey, there we go.
It's all for free.
I was waiting on that the punchline there.
Yeah, it's all for free.
I was going to set you up to say, yeah, it's at no cost to the
At no cost. It's all the mentors are volunteers.
Okay. And you just awesome. Answered the question. I was going to ask a question that if you have people who specialize in certain areas of starting a business and a company, because every business has something, a different requirement, but you have staff to which you can address those specific needs.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So when you go on SCORE, and like Karen said, if you know specifically what you want, you can type in some keywords. Let's say you need help in marketing, and it brings up all the mentors, and it's across the nation, because there is Houston SCORE. But if you do that, you can go specifically to Houston, and then what it does is you'll put up marketing plan. It brings up all the mentors, they're subject matter experts who are they're knowledgeable about a marketing plan. If you need help in social media, Karen's name is going to pop up. If you need help in business analysis, every mentor has key areas of being a subject matter expert in, and you type those keywords in. And if you don't know, you just want to say, assign me a mentor or find a mentor, you'll get assigned one. But you're right, everyone has their own knowledge of expertise.
Okay.
So during these times of COVID, explain how the mentoring will work, because I'm sure before COVID y'all might have met in person
yes.
and things like that. So now with Zoom and things like that, talk about that.
Okay. Well, the Houston office is actually located on Gessner. I need to get the address. I apologize.
I'll put it up.
Yes, it's located right here on Gessner Street, if that's a street, in Houston. Mm-hmm. And before COVID-19 and the melee that we're in, people would go into the office. They would actually go into the office and they can say, hey, I am thinking about starting my own business, or I have some questions. And then they would assign you a mentor right there. And that mentor would be face to face and would talk to you and get you the checklist. We have a checklist on how to start a business. They would set you up to do a seminar, an actual 2-day seminar. It used to be 5 days. We're trying to cut it down to 2 or 3 days now, where you would go and do a seminar on all the things you need to know to start a business in Houston, like where to register, whatever licenses you need if you want to register to be a minority business. All of that is there. Now, today, with COVID-19, we do Zoom meetings. So the people come to us the same way, but now, like for example, I had a session today. We would reach out to the person first by email or phone call and kind of have an idea what it is they're looking for, and set up a date for an actual face-to-face Zoom session. And once they come on the Zoom session, at this point, I'm listening, trying to find out what it is they want and asking key specific questions to see where they are in the process. And in my case, because I am a trainer, advisor, type of counselor person, I always try to get to their mindset. Are you ready to become an entrepreneur? Just saying you want a business doesn't always do it. So, and that's what we do now, Tex. We just do it face to face with Zoom, and it's been working. It's been working. We can stay pretty busy, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of people finding us.
That's the new normal right now. So
yeah,
it is.
Definitely.
So one of the challenges that Karen and I are finding is, and she and I have had this conversation, is everybody wants to start a business, but are you prepared mentally to begin a business? Not even the financial aspect of it, mentally. Because once you start asking them some key questions, why do you want to start a business? Then you start to hear, well, because I want to start a clothing business because I have on this great outfit and somebody told me I look nice in it. That's not a really good reason, so you really have to start drilling down. Why do you? And once you start asking people that, then you start seeing where their mindset is. So this is where we come in and we're trying now to guide them and mentor them. Hey, so one of the challenges I know is not only starting a business, but you really have to have that mindset of an entrepreneur.
Do you ever get to the point where you say to someone, you know what, this is not for you?
This is not for you.
No.
Exactly.
No, I'm glad you asked that, Chris.
That's a good question.
Because that's a very good question. We cannot do that to people. Mm-hmm. We cannot say that, even though
you're not into crushing dreams. Okay, got
yeah, correct.
No, let me tell you how we get to that realization.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A young guy came the other day and I had this session with him, and he says, I want to buy a business. I want to buy a business that is distressed. He specifically said, I want to buy a distressed business in Houston. Can we help with that? So I said to him, okay. All right. I said, on our website, we have a link to brokers who broker businesses for sale. People who put up their business for sale and say, I'm selling my pizza shop or whatever. And you could go there, see what they're offering for the business and buy it, right? Work with a broker. But he wasn't sure even what kind of business he wanted to buy. So I was like, no, I'm not going to tell him that you cannot buy a business because you're not even ready. I said to him, okay, so tell me what you like to do. What do you like to do? What are your passions? What would make you get up every morning and go down to that business at 4 a.m. and open the door? So you have to be ready. You want to buy a business from somebody. They're selling it for whatever reason. They're going out of business. They are retiring. There's several reasons people can say why they're selling their business. But why do you say I want to buy the pizza business because I can make pizza? That's awesome. But do you have a real passion for that? Because you're taking on all the troubles of that business, the employees, the supplies, the vendors, the building, the taxes, the utilities. It's not just about picking up something at the store, pair of sneakers, I don't like it, take it back. So going through the process with him, I realized that he didn't even know what it is he wanted to get. So this is what I did, and this is what I always do. I said, how about we create a SWOT analysis? I'm sure you guys may know its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I said, let's do a personal SWOT analysis on you. You tell me, what are your strengths? What do you like to do? Everything, whatever that is. I like to cook, I can barbecue, I can cut hair, I can sew clothes, I can whatever. Write those things down. Then write down the things that you're weak in. Well, I'm not good at doing math or accounting or engineering or washing cars, whatever that is. And then opportunities and threats. And I said, once you figure out what those are, look at your strengths and then look at the opportunities that are available that matches your strengths. And then this way, you'll be able to figure out which business you want to buy. So then I said, will you be looking for funding to get your business, or do you have the funding? That's when he was like, well, I would now when I make like $15 an hour. I said, okay, let's just concentrate on the SWOT analysis and figure out who you are. When you figure that out, you will be ready to help you. But I didn't squash his dreams.
Right.
So you basically laid out the roadmap.
I just told him
let him figure it out.
And you lay out the roadmap, and they may take the exit at some point.
Right.
Correct. And Tex is right. We lay out the roadmap for them, and there are detours that they'll come. They may exit, and we'll never see them again, or they'll take a detour, and you may see them in a year. Or they may leave from wanting to go from Houston to Miami and end up in Atlanta because they didn't take our advice.
So I have another question now. So let's say, so I know you offer guidance through the process and that sort of thing, but let's say it's somebody's like starting a manufacturing company and they're looking for contacts with, vendors and, suppliers and what have you. Do you have resources to be able to at least to direct people in those areas?
Yes.
Okay.
The score, if you go to the score.org, which is the whole national
That's the
database.
national, yeah.
So there's a national database, and then each city or state may have their own. Like Houston has like 5 or 6 chapters. There's Houston, the one we're in at Gessner. There's some in the Woodlands. They're all over. Or there's in San Diego, California, all these different places. So for example, you go there and you can see resources on, if you're looking for how to, if I like a lot of people doing this thing now, making masks, right? Because we're in a mass society. So for example, there you go. So somebody would come and say, I want to sell masks, right? And so we say, okay, do you have the mask already? Are you sewing the mask yourself? What is your plan? And so we'll give them guidance. Now, let me tell you one thing the SCORE does not do. SCORE does not tell people what to do. Even if we have the answer, we don't give you the answer. We direct you to where you can find the answer. So, for example, there was a girl, she said she's selling masks, and I think she's getting the masks from China. So she's already getting the mask, but she didn't know how to. She needed some like some stuff like some filters or some other things. We said, yeah, we can give you a list of people, and you can choose out of that list. Even though I might know that there's somebody who she should work with there, I cannot give her a direct, we cannot, it seems like we would be paying favoritism to a particular person because it's a government organization. So we cannot give, we have to give always 3 referrals, minimum 3. They can choose which one they want. So we have resources like that. We'll say, hey, you need to speak to a lawyer. We'll give you 3 lawyers. You need to speak to a person who sews clothes or manufactures stuff. We'll send you to 3 different vendors. We don't, so even though I say, yes, we have the resources, we're not going to tell them which one to go to.
Okay.
So you don't leave them out to hang out to dry. You actually provide the resources and the tools they need.
Yes.
Mhm.
We give them so much. There's so much information on our website. To be quite honest, they could go on there and they can figure it out themselves. And then all we can do is just kind of, maneuver them, right? All the information is there. And that's what we do. I was told from one of my mentors in SCORE that we're not teachers. We direct you to the information. And then we help you make the right decision, but we don't make the decision for you.
Correct.
Okay.
So once you become a member of the SCORE family and you start your business and your business is up and running, are there additional resources available even after the business is up and running?
Absolutely.
Yes.
There's people who started a business 12 years ago and they're still working with SCORE mentors. Every time they add a new product or they add a different building or they hired some staff, they say, you know what, I'm hiring some new staff. I need some guidance. I need an HR person. They come back to SCORE and we help them.
You may have started, for example, as a sole proprietor and you said, "Lo, I want to turn it into an LLC." You may not have that knowledge. So you come back to SCORE and say, "Look, I'm ready to expand. I want to be an LLC now." And then there's an attorney that's on staff too as well as a volunteer, and they can guide you through that process.
Okay.
Awesome.
Quick question about the mentors. So I'm guessing you'll be positioned placed with a mentor regarding your particular type of business. So is that limited to the Houston area, or is it you have access to the nationwide network?
Well, let me just say like this. Let's say, for example, and this is a good thing you brought that up, because actually SCORE, I'm on the outreach team and I'm looking for mentors. I want people to come in with their subject matter expertise, and then we would have them available to help our clients. So, I know you're an IT guy. We need some IT people. So, so for example, if you want to give back. So, for example, like I said, it's a national database. So let's say we cannot find anybody in Houston to help this person. We will go through the database, and maybe the person is in New York or in Pennsylvania, and we'll connect them with that person there, and that person will help them as long as that person is willing to take on the client. And then they can. And I'll tell you the other thing too. There's co-mentors, there's individual mentors. I could mentor by myself. I could mentor with Pat as a co-mentor, or 2 or 3 other mentors. And then you could start off with me. And then when you get to a point where you need somebody to help you with, say, all your financial stuff, and I'm not an expert, I'm not a CPA or an accountant, then we'll refer you to that mentor, and he or she will pick up from there. So you could go through 10 people if that's what you need to help you get your business to where you need to go.
And here's the other thing. If you are assigned a mentor and you feel that mentor is not really up to your standards, so you say, "Look, this is just not cutting it for me," you can change your mentor. Okay. You can say, "Look, this is not what I want. I need somebody who more background aligns with what I'm wanting to do." And then you can change your mentor. So even if you're assigned, it's not to say you'll stay, because you may have that mentor for just the marketing. And then you say, "You know what? This person is not helping me as much as I really want to." You can switch your mentor.
Okay. I have one last question.
Yeah. We're not pushing that, but we do encourage them to work with mentors.
Hey. Yeah. Dwayne and Jazz, you have any more questions? I have one last question. So the last question I had was, so we talked about from a startup idea to creating the business. So my question is, what challenge? What do you think is the biggest challenge with an established business? Kind of just barely getting along, making payroll, but to get that to the next level. What would you say from your experience is the biggest challenge? I know it's a big question.
It's a very broad question.
Yeah.
It's very broad. I'll see if I could if I'm understanding you correctly, if I'm hearing what I think you're asking. If somebody has a business and they've gotten to a point where they want to expand, or they want to take it to another level,
Yeah, they want to reach another level, right? We're doing okay. Bills are paid. You know, we're making payroll, but you know what? I'm looking to take this to the next level.
Why?
What do you think is the biggest?
Why do you want to take it to the next level?
When I say take it to the next level, this business needs to be more successful than it is.
Oh, so they actually have a problem.
Yes. How can you help me to take this business to the next level? It may be through expansion. It may not be. It may just be processes. So I'm just trying to understand, what do you think is the biggest hindrance from an established business going from treading water to being, Michael Phelps?
I think it's a very difficult to talk about something on a broad that without having some specifics, because I think we would have to look at so many areas. It could be you have a particular area of your business that is being challenging, which is affecting you to have this type of growth that you're looking for. So, for example, if you're not using your resources properly, if you you need to probably change your suppliers. Maybe you're spending too much money on your cost of goods, and then your output is not going to be the same. Maybe we need to start looking at your balance statements. Right. It may just be as simple that it could be tweaks in that area. It could be tweaks in your personnel. It could be you may have some managers who are not utilizing your resources properly. It could be you. Yeah. It could be your mindset.
Inconceivable.
Most times it is you, because it's funny. You laugh, but I was talking to one of our leaders yesterday, and he said a lot of people who own small businesses tend to feel that they need to do everything for themselves. I know how to run the books. I know to do the timesheets. I know to order the supplies. I know how. No. You may need to hire somebody. You may need to bring in the right people, but then you need to know how to bring these people in. Just because Chris is good with doing IT stuff, can Chris mesh with you? Can Chris understand what you really want? He might be good at what he does, but then the personalities has to match. So there's a lot of things of how to hire well and also how to delegate well. And sometimes a person may maybe have a business that is like you said, it's okay, it's paying the bills, but why aren't you expanding? Why aren't you're in the same spot, right? There's you yourself may need to do some retraining. And a lot of business people feel that, why am I picking up another book? Why do I need to read on this? And I because I come from the education background, I'm always teaching and training. I always encourage people, you need to learn something. You may need to go back to school yourself. Go take a master's class. Go take something in another area and look at that and see if that's something you have a passion for, and then you may generate do some brainstorming with your staff. Bring another person in. Maybe it's a change management thing. It could be an agile way to think, how I'm thinking differently. It could be a project. It's so many things. But the main thing is you, the owner, have to take yourself outside of your comfort zone and go where you've never gone before, but be willing to see that as a challenge and take that journey.
Okay. And I'll add to that, one of the challenges I know that we see, entrepreneurs need to stop thinking about their business as a side hustle. It's a business. It's not a side hustle. A side hustle, you're not going to reach anywhere. You're not going to gain any momentum. You're not going to gain any traction. So again, your mindset, you had a side hustle. Now you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner.
Okay. This was some excellent information. I thank you for sharing it with our community. So score.org is the website, right?
No, Houston. Score.org.
Okay, Houston.score.org. So as we mentioned, these are some challenging economic times. There are people who have been laid off and have been, sending resumes out and not getting any response back. So perhaps you should, look into opportunities for starting a business. And now that we know that there is an organization that can guide you through that process, I think this is some very important information for our community to have. We will, we record live and then we, chop up the video and then we share it all over the place. So to get this information out there to as many people as possible. So, ladies, representing the lovely Twin Islands of TNT, thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Chris, please check us and find out if we can have one of you guys with your expertise offer your services for free to score.
I knew there was a hidden agenda behind you getting on the show. Yes, okay. Yes, most definitely. But thank you once again for sharing that information.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Ladies.
All right.
We appreciate it.
All right.
You guys have a good night.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
So,